everyone, and welcome to the first in a series of videos being produced by the Chenango County Historical Society. My name is Marie Morin, and I am both an intern and a volunteer at the Chenango County Historical Society during the summers. And this past year, during the COVID-19 pandemic, the Sherburne Public Library, which is another place that I work, did a bunch of online programming. And the videos that I made for the online programming were recipe sharing videos. And Jessica saw a bunch of these videos, and Jessica and I are very close, and she knows that I love to cook. So she asked me to make a series of videos which are sharing recipes from a book that we sell at the Chenango County Historical Society and Museum in our gift shop. It is a cookbook full of historical recipes from Chenango County. So the book is titled Made 9 Pies. I have it right here. And today's recipe we are doing to kick off this series is summer squash fritters, handwritten from the cookbook of Laura Glynn Mathews Fowler. This is just one out of many recipes that are housed in this book. And through this series, I plan on doing one recipe from each section. This recipe comes from the side dishes section, and it sounded like a lot of fun, and I love squash, so that's what I wanted to try first. So firstly, the ingredients you are going to need. You are going to need some summer squash or yellow squash for this recipe. And then you are also going to need some oil of some sort because we are going to be frying these fritters. The actual recipe says in fat, but I don't have animal fat on hand, so I am going to use a more sort of friendly option to me and use vegetable oil. One of the things that I wanted to do with this series is keep to the recipes as historically accurate as possible, because I'm a history major and I live for historical accuracy. But the only thing is we don't have access to a lot of that sort of technology that they used for cooking at the time. So I am gonna keep to the recipe as close as I possibly can, but I am going to most of the time use modern technology unless I feel like getting a little crazy, which who knows? I like to get a little crazy sometimes. The next ingredient that you'll need after your vegetable oil or whatever you want to fry your fritters in is an egg. And then you're also going to want a cup of flour and a teaspoon of baking soda. And you're also going to want to have salt and pepper on hand, just, seasoning to taste. So the first step of this process is to peel your squash, because we are actually going to be grating this squash so we can, make it into a batter and make it into fritters. So I'm going to start with a peeler, a small bowl, and a squash. So this recipe doesn't tell you exactly how much, or how many squash you actually need. It just says a cup of squash. So I am going to start with one of my squash, and I am going to chop it down the middle so I can get the seeds out, and then I'm going to grate it until I have a cup of squash. So I'm going to start by chopping off the ends, and then I'm going to chop slice, I guess, straight down the middle. Remember to be careful of your fingers. And then I'm going to take a spoon, and I'm going to get the seeds and all of the center pulp out of the squash and put it in the same bowl that my peelings were in. Okay, so I have got one of my squash sliced down the middle and pitted for all intents and purposes. And now I'm just going to grate it into my measuring cup. After you have your cup of grated squash all ready to go, the next thing you're going to do is turn on your stove to a medium heat. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons to begin with to my frying pan. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is take our squash, put it in a larger bowl, and then we are going to add all of our other ingredients. A reminder, 1 egg, 1 cup of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, and salt and pepper to taste. And then we're just going to mix this into a batter. This is going to be a very dry batter, so if you feel the need, you can always add something like water, like a little bit of water or heavy cream or milk or something like that. Once you've got a nice batter going, you're going to want to make sure that you have enough oil to cover the entirety of the bottom of your frying pan. And then once your pan is all ready and your fritter batter is ready to go, you are going to take spoonful by spoonful of the mixture and just put it in the pan and start it one at a time, and then if you feel more confident you can add like maybe and go 2 at a time. So once you've got one of your little spoonfuls of batter in there, you're just gonna let it go for a couple minutes till it's golden on each side. You're not gonna wanna step away when you're doing this. You're gonna wanna keep an eye on your fritters. Don't forget to have a plate and a paper towel ready to deposit your squash fritters on. And then once your squash fritter is golden brown on both sides, let it dry out on the paper towel so some of the moisture of the frying oil comes off. And then you're just gonna do that again until you're out of batter. So that's it. That's how you make summer squash fritters from the historical cookbook, Made 9 Pies. And a reminder, we do sell this at the Chenango County Historical Society. So as soon as we open back up, make an appointment and you can come in to our facility and stop by the gift shop and buy your very own copy of this cookbook. I just want to give a few thank yous in this first episode to a few really important people. Thank you so much for Colleen Lautoft at the Sherburne Public Library for allowing me to figure out that I love to make cooking videos during our COVID-19 programming that we did over the past. Thank you to Jessica Moquin, the director of the Shenango County Historical Society, for giving me another opportunity to start doing cooking videos again, and especially historically accurate ones, because I am a history major and I love this sort of stuff. I love living history museums. I love trying to fill my life with as much history as I possibly can. So I'm very, very, very grateful to Jessica for letting me do these videos. And lastly, and probably most importantly, thank you to all of you who watched this video and will continue to watch through the series. See you next time.